Deanna Carter noticed a man on the train in New York City rubbing his penis. And apparently this is a common thing that happens on trains. Sexual harassment and sexual assault has actually shot up considerably in the last year. So as a result, she took out her cell phone, started filming him, and really put him on blast. Take a look.
Train. Do it again and I'm getting up out this chair and I'm gonna bust your fucking ass on this train. We understand each other? Do we fucking understand each other? Do some freaky shit again and I'm gonna get up out this chair and I'm gonna bust your ass. You wanna rub your dick, bitch? You rub your dick when you get off the motherfucking train. Do we fucking understand each other? I'm in one of those moods, I will fuck you up on this train. You hear me? I can't hear you. Do you fucking hear me? Now the next stop, you get the fuck up. You hear me? You get your ass the fuck up off this train with that freaky shit. When this train stops, you get the fuck off. Do you understand me? I can't hear you. Say I understand you, miss. All right now, we gotta understand it. Now I've got your fucking picture on here. Like I said, I don't give a fuck if this ain't your stop. You get off this train with that freaky shit. Get up. Get the fuck up. Get the fuck off this train.
Transfer is available to the shuttle to Grand.
With your fucking crazy ass. Get the fuck off the train. Sitting here rubbing on your penis. Are you serious? Get the fuck off. Before I beat the shit out of you. You got the right one, honey, because I'm a crazy bitch. Please believe me. Get the fuck off the train.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you, Deanna Carter. Deanna Carter just became a legend. Okay, that was epic. That was epic.
That was the most amazing thing I've seen in my entire career.
Get up! Get the fuck up! Get the fuck off this train! You get off this train with that freaky shit!
You get off this train with that freaky shit. Okay.
You got the right one, honey, because I'm a crazy bitch.
Oh, I love that line.
Deanna Carter for the win.
That was my favorite line. Can you play that one more time? It gives me life.
You got the right one, honey, because I'm a crazy bitch. Please believe me.
I do.
I feel inspired.
Yeah. See, he messed with the wrong woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so there is something viscerally pleasing about Deanna Carter there. I know.
So
and that's
good.
a great graphic.
So good.
Okay. Because, on the New York subway, a lot of dirty things happen. And a lot of stupid stuff happens. And people think they can get away with anything. And this happens all across the world in buses and trains, etc. And there was something there that Deanna Carter did that I think a lot of women thought, finally!
Yes.
Finally, someone said,
I can't hear you. Do you fucking hear me?
Oh, I mean, the strength in that, right?
I think you're right. That's the reason why, watching something like that inspired me. And, I get it. Some people are going to be turned off by it because she's, using the language she's using. I don't care. Because oftentimes when you're being victimized like that, right, you feel kind of helpless. Like, okay, I'll give you guys an example. So a few years ago, I went to visit a friend in New York, and I was completely inexperienced in riding the train and dealing with what a lot of women deal with in these trains in New York. I was sitting, and it was not a packed train. There was plenty of room. Some guy comes on it, and he walks right in front of me, puts both his hands on like the railing or whatever at the top, and his crotch is right in my face. And I didn't know what to do. I was by myself. I was pretty scared. And I just kind of like sat like this the entire time. Because there aren't a lot of people on the train. I don't know if anyone's going to like protect me if I like speak up or do something. And so, yeah, a lot of women feel like they can't speak up. They can't defend themselves. They can't do anything about it. And to see a woman stick up for herself like this feels great.
Yeah, because a lot of guys take advantage of the fact that people will be scared,
Yeah.
people will be intimidated, etc. And somebody probably won't say,
I'm in one of those moods, I will fuck you up on this train.
and so the way she reversed the roles, and the look on his face was precious. I mean, like, I think he said, I couldn't quite tell it. I thought he might have said, like, this is not, or intimated that this is not my stop.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I don't give a shit that it's not your stop. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get off this train. And he's like, okay. But, you know, men being what they are, you know, who knows what any guy's into? He's obviously into, like, some sort of exhibitionism, doing it in public. He gets off on that. Who knows? That might have been the thrill of his life.
I don't think so. I think that this video just might ruin his life.
No, that's true, because
Yeah.
he's put on blast, and
Yeah.
you see his face, and he's going to be probably devastated by that. But there are guys who would have been into that, into being yelled at like that, and then they would have gone home and been like, oh.
Get up! Get the fuck up! Get the fuck off this train!
And be like, yes, I do, right? And so, for example, when she said,
I can't hear you. Do you fucking hear me?
right, a lot of guys will be into that. So that's the thing with guys. There's no winning sometimes.
Guys are into that, but they're into that in a fantasy setting where it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I don't know what he was feeling
We
as
have
he was
no
going
idea.
through that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate and kind of provide a different component to the story, a different angle, and kind of get everyone's thought on it, okay? I'm not saying this because I necessarily believe it, but I do think it raises an interesting question. So, look, I watched that video a few times, mostly because I was amused by it, but also because I wanted to see if there was any evidence of him doing that, you know? And you really can't tell because he has the backpack there and he's kind of covering himself. He doesn't appear to be moving his arms, so I have no idea, right? And so there are obviously two different courts, court of public opinion, and then there is actual, like, courts where you can get convicted of a crime. I don't know if there's enough evidence in there for him to ever be convicted of the crime, but in the court of public opinion, he's done. He's done, right?
Yeah.
And so there is no trial, there is no jury, there is no real evidence presented, it's just that video. And so it does raise an interesting question of, you know, whether or not it's okay to post something like that.
So no, it's a totally fair question. If we were in a criminal court, there's no way he'd be convicted. There's not clear enough evidence there.
Yeah.
And so in terms of court of public opinion, now it's a relatively recent story. There hasn't been that many follow-ups to it. So no one objected to her version of events. And you can see in the video, it's not like anybody's saying, like, no, come on, he wasn't doing that.
Right.
Right? And there's nobody defending him. And he, through his actions, and he might be a shy guy, so it's maybe not fair, but through his actions seemed to be like, okay, I got to get out of here. Right? Because, like, if somebody did, again, it depends on your personality, but if somebody yelled at me like that, I'd be like, and I hadn't done it, I'd be like, okay, much love.
Yeah.
Okay, but you got it all wrong. That's crazy talk. I wasn't doing that. And if I leave, it'll look like I was doing that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to, you know, argue your point about, you know, other people on the train not saying anything. I mean, based on my experience, I feel like other people on the train just don't want to get involved and they don't say anything anyway, right? It's very rare for people to get involved in a case like that. So I don't know. It is an interesting case, and overall, I'm happy with the way that she defended herself. But it does raise some interesting, like, privacy concerns and stuff like that.
Sure. And look, I hope to God she got it right.
Yeah.
And that he, you know, so that he was getting yelled at for the right reasons. But he seemed to certainly act in a way that indicated that he had been doing it, and then got out of there.
Yeah.
It is possible that he's a guy who's enormously shy, and hence, right or wrong, he just wanted to leave that very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's a much more fun story if it turns out he did do it. Okay. So I'm going to assume what is very, very likely, that she did that for a reason. She didn't just invent that sitting across the way from him. Like, that's a hell of a thing to accuse someone of if you're not absolutely sure.
Right. All right.
So, look, the bottom line is when she says,
Please believe me.
I do. You know, the Young Turks has a whole 2-hour show every single day, and you can get it ad-free if you're a member. tytnetwork.com/join. Go.